It's not the house that's haunted. It's your son. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Gong, gong, gong. The ghostly gong show. Gong. I'm Charles Rant with the retro review of Insidious from 2011 from director James Wan, who's done films such as Saw, Dead Silence, yeah, the Puppet movie. Remember the Puppet movie where you couldn't scream or she'd get you? Yeah, that film. He also did Death Sentence. Both those came out in 2007, by the way. Furious 7, yeah, he had a hand in continuing the Fast and Furious franchise. It's got a 3-part finale coming up before they take it into space. He also did Aquaman. They gave him a lot of money to do that. And actually, Aquaman wasn't that bad. What was bad was Malignant. Even though I think it was intended to be a comedy, they forgot to put comedy in it, and they forgot to make it horrifying, except horrifyingly bad. He also did 2 of my favorite movies of the last decade, The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. It won't let me go. You want to play hide and clap? And he also had a hand in other installments of The Conjuring, like producing this, and also all these. All these. Why am I showing these? Because showing off the Conjuring film collection is a lot more interesting than Insidious. And if you haven't guessed by now, ooh, Spanish audio on this one. Ooh, I can understand very little of it if I listen to that. Yeah, Insidious was another film that James Wan had a hand in. This was also written by Lee Whannell, who ended up doing the rest of the Insidious movies. And why am I watching, or rewatching, that is, the Insidious franchise? Because some people have asked if I will review the 5th one coming out next month. So, sure, maybe Insidious will end up actually being scary this time around. No. Insidious is one of the most overrated horror franchises in recent memory. I do not understand why people find this scary. If you do find this scary, that's fine. That's cool. That's absolutely cool. Patrick Wilson is in this, who was in, of course, and again, showing these off, The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. He's also in Annabelle Comes Home, which I might have been a little bit too kind to. And by a little bit, I was probably a lot too kind to it. Anyway, Rose Byrne, I would, and you would too. We have Ty Simpkins, and we have Lynn Shay. Lynn Shay is a really good actress and does the best in here and other installments, despite what happens to her at the end. And also Lee Whannell is in this as one of the guys named Specs. Then Angus Simpson. That Angus Sampson beef. And Barbara Hershey, who looks great. Absolutely great. So yes, PG-13 horror. Yay. PG-13 horror isn't a death sentence. That was something else that James Wan directed. Heyo. But unfortunately, it's hard to do PG-13 horror unless you understand subtlety and how to not beat people about the head in the goddamn face with jump scares. James Wan is a terrific director, even though he has had quite the eclectic collection of films. When he gets it right, he really does get it right. Are there jump scares in The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2? Yes, but they're earned. In this one, they're not. Literally from the very beginning, it is banging you in the head to the point you are going to get head trauma. And if you have head trauma, this is just going to give you flashbacks to when you had the head trauma and it really, really hurt. So yeah, turn the camera upside down. Let's do a bunch of fancy tricks. Let's turn it right around. No, anyway. So yeah, the loud tension music from the very beginning, and I'm sorry, maybe I just remember seeing something different when I first saw Insidious, because I did see this in theaters, and I didn't like it. But I thought, maybe with the passage of time, I will have an appreciation for it. I have an appreciation for the fact that there are better horror franchises out there, and do not misunderstand, there are cool camera tricks, there are some atmospheric moments, and some really good shots. And it's a good cast. Rose Byrne. I'm getting a chance to look at Rose Byrne for about an hour and 40 minutes, and I will absolutely take that opportunity. And Lynn Shay, very good actress. Patrick Wilson, one of my favorite actors of the last 20 or so years. And it just wastes them. So, at one point, I'm just looking at my goddamn notes here because I'm trying to remember all this crazy stuff. We see the beginning where this old woman is haunting people. Who's it haunting? It's haunting Josh, because this is Josh's origin story before we go many years later. And the self-starting furnace in the attic, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's haunted, but it's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Just keep staying there. They moved into a new house, by the way. And see, kids, this is why you should always make sure you listen to your parents. Don't go playing around, or you will go down a rod ladder, hit your head, and then suddenly demons will take you. Yes. Trying to entertain myself here because Insidious is not entertaining. These are terrible parents, is what I noted. They don't keep an eye on their kid. They have an infant child. And the infant child kept screaming, and along with the tension noises, I'm like, please, please, please do something about this screaming child. And Renee, well, I'm just going to say Rose Byrne because it's a weird spelling for it, but Rose Byrne just looks great. She makes music, sort of, kind of, maybe. And then there's a drippy faucet for all of like one scene. The thing is as atmospheric as this movie is, it's also one of those where it's so dark you can't quite see what the fuck is going on, and you can adjust the tint on your television and it's still not going to make any difference. It wouldn't even make a difference if you watch it on your mobile device on the information superhighway. Jesus Christ. The movie at one point, I think about 15 minutes in, plunges you into darkness. This is after Dalton, the kid played by Ty Simpkins, ends up hitting his head, and he's not doing too well. He's having issues, obviously, hitting his head, and also he can walk between worlds. He can take his spirit and walk around and walk along the razor's edge. And they plunge us into darkness, and then suddenly, and I'm like, thanks, movie, take me out of the darkness. And the crying kid comes up against it. I'm sorry, movie, put me back in the darkness. Anything to get me away from that screaming, screeching brat. I don't loathe children. Okay, I do. Children deserve to be raised in a loving environment. And I know that's the point. We're supposed to have annoying characters in this, but really, crying children. I worked at a theater for about 6 years. Let me tell you, crying children are almost the worst scourge of the goddamn universe in that environment. So yeah, Dalton's in a coma. It's only been a couple of days, the doctor says. Don't worry, it's fine. We'll figure it out. It's fine. They don't figure it out. 3 months later, hello, nurse. Hello, nurse. So Rose Byrne starts hearing stuff like, on the baby monitor, there's nothing you can do. Hadouken. I don't know what I'm on about anymore. And the other son that is not really referenced in this says, it's like, can we switch rooms, or can I do something? Because I don't like when he walks around at night. So, by the way, fun little facts about this. $1.5 million budget in 2011. I mean, technically a 2010 release date at film festivals, but it had a wide release in 2011, so there you go. $54 million U.S. and Canada gross domestic, and then $100 million worldwide. So $100 million on a $1.5 million budget. Even if this movie is a two-pack of ass from pretty much every scare, and jump scare standpoint, this movie was going to absolutely have a sequel, and then a couple other sequels. One that was a prequel, and the one that was another prequel. And then we keep having all this shit going on. And then we have the fifth one that's coming out that Patrick Wilson's going to direct. Really can't go much worse than the sequels. Anyway, let's get back to that. So, the jump scares, just fuck off with the jump scares. God damn it. Seriously, it was like a vice on my goddamn head. And then there was one point where the demon gets in and it sets off the alarm. And the alarm goes off for so goddamn long. Maybe it is because I suffered head trauma. But good goddamn Christ, this was piercing. It was hurting me. And I had the volume low on my TV. Certain pitches, I guess, annoy me. Much like my voice probably annoys people, but that's alright. I'll just keep doing it. And, oh, there's a bloody handprint on the sheets. Oh, I see. It's okay when they do that and it's put on film. And then I do that and a girl in a college calls the police. Don't believe that. Don't believe everything you read or hear. So they can't sleep. Patrick Wilson is a teacher. And that's pretty much quickly given up on. We don't really see him at his job much. So, Yeah, more jump scare stuff. All jump scare everything is basically what this is, and the everybody's just doing more stupid shit. Rose Byrne can't figure out the stuff's going on. She can't get Josh, aka Patrick Wilson, to believe her. And well, please, we need your help. We need your help. Help me, Spock. You need to believe me. Help me. Lin Shaye, help us. But before we get to Lin Shaye, trying desperately to save this movie. So yeah, Ghost just, Ghost just, bouncing around everything, running through the halls, jumping at you, jumping out of the cabinets. It's fine. Yeah, they move house again, and the ghost follows. Barbara Hershey is in this and looks really good. Dalton suddenly is sitting on the floor. By the way, we get the lipstick, not Darth Maul demon. That is what it looks like. It looked like Darth Maul is a demon. Tell me I'm wrong. People say that was such an effective jump scare. Not really. It's a cool GIF or GIF. Choosy moms choose GIF. But, and then the crew arrives, a.k.a. Angus Sampson and Lee Winnell. And Angus's character Tucker created like Viewmaster stuff, like with ghostly images. Wow, that's one hell of a Viewmaster. Oh yeah, this wasn't science didn't have to have any specific purpose. Lowering the cylinder, inserting the breakfast pastry. Okay, I'm done with the MST3K movie quotes. I will contact Dr. Jemima though. And Elise arrives because let's just say weird shit is going on. A lot of spirits are coming through. Why? She says, well, it's not the house is haunted, it's your son. Astral projection. Your son can do this, but unfortunately he's lost because they raised an idiot. And now he's lost and has to be brought back from the further. And there are some that have an insidious agenda. In a movie called Insidious, you do just so much. I don't know if this is coming across, but I find this movie monumentally stupid. I'm going to rewatch the rest of them. I find it monumentally stupid at times, and I find it frustrating because it has great atmosphere and a really good cast that apparently worked for nothing, given the fact that it was a $1.5 million budget. But anyway, Elise has this plan. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on a ghost mask. Somebody's going to listen to what I say, and we're going to figure out all this stuff. Oh, the ghost is speaking in cliches like ripping innards out and calling her a hewer and all that. And da-da-da-da-da-da. And this giant notepad dealy thing and whatever. And just writing all this stuff around and writing. So yeah, now they have to go into the spirit world. Josh used to do this as a kid. And the thing from earlier, like in the beginning of the movie with the lady going, was this old lady that was haunting him, that wanted to possess his body, like the Darth Maul demon. And they shut off his memory because it's the only way to prevent this ghost from getting you. We had to save you. Seriously. Watch fucking Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. I'm not even saying that with the benefit of rewatching that The Conjuring it's still great. This is better. Good God, even the first, I would say almost first Annabelle's better, but that's unfair because the first Annabelle actually had a good part for the first 30 minutes. This just wastes every bit that it just wastes any potential that it has. So he goes into the further, Josh does, finds Dalton, and then there's the creepy character. But then we hear, tiptoe through the tulips, Tiny Tim must have been a killer in a previous life, through the tulips, It's a good song, though. It's a good song to use in a horror movie. I just wish it was a better horror movie. And they're on the run, and the Darth Maul demon finds them. And then they manage to get back, but everything seems fine. And earlier, Elise mentioned that, hey, Josh, we know you don't like your picture taken. She realizes Josh is acting weird, so she took his picture, and then he chokes her. And everybody apparently is unaware that this is happening in the next room. And so Elise is dead. Lin Shaye dies. Good. About the only character that anybody could care about is dead. And suddenly, Josh is on the run because he has gone further away. And on that fucking goddamn note. Insidious. Insidious is what I called it. Probably should have used that earlier in the review, but nevertheless, yeah. It wastes any of the good stuff that it has as far as atmosphere, technical work, and the talent in front and behind the camera. It's just jump scares, jump scares, jump scares, jump scares. They're not earned jump scares. It's not scary. Fuck. Yeah, looking forward to this rewatching. God, the fifth one's got to be better. Please. Can't be much worse. Oh, I done cursed it. Yeah. Jump scares all around. The thrill of jump scares was all around us. So, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retland. I'll see you soon.